Hey everybody, Bill in Virginia, and welcome back to my layouts. Today I'm going to be doing additional work over on the HO scale layout. You can see I've got the two pieces that make up my 4x16 layout disconnected. Got the backdrop off on the far section. What I am going to do today is I'm going to finish up track weathering on that piece, as well as doing a deep clean of the track, and then put the No Ox ID A Special conductive grease on the track and switch points over there. Last video that I did the exact same thing over here on this layout piece. Works really good. Smooth operation, really like it. So rather than do the N scale next, like I was talking in that last video, it's like I'm going to finish up the HO scale one. So I'm going to take care of the track work over there and then run some trains. Get the engines back on that side after I get the No Ox ID A Special conductive grease down, and make it so that the entire layout is done from that perspective, so I can really get a feel for how well that grease is going to work. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So quite a while ago, I did a video on how I weather my track, so I'm not going to go into any real details on that, but I am starting on the second 4x8 piece of the HO scale layout, getting the chocks put in place before I give the track a really good cleaning, and then put the No Ox ID A Special conductive grease on the rails, using the exact same technique as before. Using a knife to shave a variety of different colors of chalk, again mostly rust earth tones, and then just dabbing the brush hit and miss into the different colors just to give it a bit of a different texture and consistency. But you know what, that looks pretty good. I will run the brush across it a few times, blend it all in, but it looks pretty good. Flip it around. I've got all of the track over on this side. Did it more than, boy, it's probably been almost a year ago now. I have to look at my videos to see when I did it, but you can see the weathering is holding up really well after many different kinds of cleaning. And got all my equipment over on this side as I'm working on the track on that side. But yeah, this is going to work out pretty well. It's going to look pretty good. So I'm going to get this done, then I'm going to give it all a good cleaning, and put the No Ox ID down on it, and then run trains on this side as well. Starting another day out on the layout and making a little bit more progress. Really see where the track weathering leaves off. Got to come back in yet, and I'll give it a good brush on everything that I've done and then clean the track. But probably going to take me better part of a day off and on to finish the rest of this piece of the layout. But weathering is effective. Makes it look like that track has been there for a long time. So a little farther along, I took off a couple of my buildings so that I could get access to the track behind it and up close. So still have some details in the shop, which is fun. And excuse me, see the LEDs down there for the welding effects. But I've got tracks on this side of the layout mostly done. I can still reach the clean out track and some of the switches just right over there from this side. This side I will still get most of the tracks at the engine house and take care of those. But I've got the tracks done all the way up to here and then up to that switch right there. So be doing some more here this evening, and then hopefully finishing up tomorrow. Track weathering is now done on the other piece of the layout. I've got everything taken care of, and some of the tones will fade a little bit when I come back in and clean the top of the track. I don't soak it by any means, but a little bit of the liquid, a little bit of rub, take a little bit of that off in some spots and just sort of even it out so that it looks more like what we've got going on over here. And don't mind the cars off the track. I did that on purpose. Again, this thing is portable, and if I move it too quick, things roll. But coming around, you can kind of see just how the track looks. Use the same colors on the main line, but it gives it a more muted brownish rust appearance. I think that sets it off pretty well. It highlights the track on that brown, and then the rust colors look pretty good on the yard tracks, the tracks that get a little bit less use here. So let's see, too much reflection. Got the tracks in and around the engine house. So I think this looks pretty good. This little old spur, a lot more rusted, just because it's not used very often. Still have to do work on the turntable. I've got to weather it yet. A few other little things to do. Probably do that tomorrow. I think I can reach it okay, but yeah, this is going to work. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the track with mineral spirits, just like I did on the other piece in the last video. And then get ready to put the NOx ID A Special on it, and then put it back together and move some trains over this way and see how it runs. This side does not have frog juicers, in which on the other side the frog juicers that I've got are essentially the Caboose Hobbies ground throws, which have the power point in it, so that I can route power directly to the track. This side does not. So I'm looking forward to doing a good cleaning job and really getting in on the points, and put a little bit of that conductive grease just to put a film there, and see how that does on this section. But more to come on that here in a little while. So getting ready to clean the track, and I got my equipment laid out here using a odorless mineral spirits. And then I've got a variety of industrial strength towels cut to different sizes. This is that dowel I was talking about in the last video that I sort of shaped like a screwdriver. It's a little bit softer than a screwdriver, so I can do a little bit more. And then I've got these towels cut into smaller strips. And what I do is I will take the towel, wrap it around like that. I can get a good grip on it. This one can go into the points and other tight areas on the track. Then what I do is I'll take the mineral spirits, and I will dip this into it just enough to get the tip wet, and then it soaks up about an inch and a half on the paper towel on both sides, and from there I can go quite a ways. Once the tip area gets dirty, I simply just move the towel a little bit, and I've got a clean piece of rag that I can continue to do my work on. So that works pretty well. For the broader areas of track, I've got a piece of balsa. You notice I've got HO written on it. It's a little bit wider than HO scale track. And I take the wider strip that I've cut, and I do the same thing. Lay it over the balsa, wrap it up like that, and it will fit inside the mineral spirits. Same thing. Soak it on the tip. It soaks up about an inch on each side, and then I can press it onto the track, and I can pull it this way so that I've got both rails in contact with the balsa wood. I can also go edgewise on a single rail and just kind of press and run along the rail to get a good clean. You'll be amazed at the amount of material this will pick up. So I'm going to get started over on the other 4x8 section and start cleaning track here. All right, just a quick show of the tools that I'm using here to clean. So right in here is my little point cleaning tool. You can see how I've soaked it in mineral spirits. You can see the discoloration, the darker blue. It's easy, just move it in, rub it on both sides. You can get your points cleaned that way. Flip the switch, rub it in, and you get it. So even though you can't really see it on this, I've been using this one already. You can see combination. You can see the brown and reddish orange color. That's the chalk dust coming off of the points from when I weathered the track from yesterday. The darker the black, that's the oxidation and crud that this particular tool can pick up as it's going on the track. You could use this even if you wanted to kind of clean in and around. You know, I'm going to come back and do this with a different tool, but you can already kind of see on the end what it was picking up. So this works pretty well for this. Now I'll show you what I do for the rest of the track. So while still working in the same area, I now have the wider tool. You also see I'm wearing a nitrile glove. I do wear that because my fingers are going to be contacting the saturated piece of the cloth as I move it to get fresh surface area. So just a little added protection, but real easy. Just on, you're pressing it in and rubbing. So I've not cleaned this area recently, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of chalk dust from the weathering that I just did. And sure enough, you can see that. A lot of the brown, that's the chalk dust coming up. Then we just simply pull it, and I've got fresh rag exposed. And this should start getting through the dust and getting into the oxidation that's present. You can still see a little bit of the chalk dust, but now a little bit more of the darker color coming up as well. You know, this mineral spirits takes a lot of stuff out. So you can see the browns. Again, you just kind of rotate. You can also run it on its edge like this. That kind of gets in, and you burnish the track. You don't have to press too hard. You know, I'm using balsa wood so that it's not excessively hard, and it will over time form fit the rails. Now you can still see a bit of brown, and that's okay. But not a lot of other gunk coming up, which is good. It means I had cleaned this track pretty good not that long ago over on this area. Again, so almost nothing. So that's good. That means that track is in pretty good shape. And now you can start to see a little bit of a line in there. That's from almost burnishing the track. It's not necessarily that it's dirty, but it's just kind of getting in there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're giving it a good cleaning so that when I come back in with the No-Ox ID later today, after I get everything done, it's going to have a nice clean surface to work with. Oh, there we go. Just getting chalk dust, so not a lot of oxidation. Now I'm going to take this and go over everything. This takes a while, but it does leave your track super clean and in good shape to do your next step. Layout is back together. So let's start running some engines across the track and get that grease distributed well. I've already given it a light, very light wipe down using the same blue rag and the HO gauge balsa stick just to get the any excess grease up. And it picked up a fair amount. So now it's time to let the engines do their work on it and see how it is at the switches. I am claiming success with the No-Ox ID. So I've been running some engines, and so far, nice and smooth. A few little hiccups on some switches that some adjustments tweaked them and made them work better. But coming in nice. Yeah, this is going to work. I'll show some other engines running that have been problematic over the years and show you how well they work on this stuff. But this No-Ox ID A Special is really good. I like it. Next one for it will be the N scale layout. Here's my little diesel electric box cab. Affectionately, I called it Old Sparky, because when I used to run it, it would arc and spark everywhere. A little bit of an application of the no-ox ID on wheels. Obviously, picking it up from the tracks, and then on the electrical contacts, the wipers totally eliminated the sparking that this little guy used to do. He's still a noisy little engine. Maybe one of these days I'll put a new motor in, but you know what? That's not bad. I am not going to complain about that for an engine that's over at least 50 years old, would be my guess. If maybe a little bit younger than that, but not by much. On to the next one. There we go. Nice slow creep for a DC locomotive. Quite happy with that. And one last measure of success, I think, with this whole project is steam train running at fairly slow speed through the yard. Let's see how it does. All right, I am a happy camper. That will do it for this video. What I'm going to spend the rest of the day on is bringing equipment back over and then setting it up to have some fun on this long Memorial Day weekend. Next video should be the end scale. I won't go into quite as much detail on track cleaning, but I'm going to clean it, and I think the end scale is just going to be a fun run it and just rail fanning video. So that one will come out later on here. But anyway, enjoy your layouts, enjoy the weekend, and keep having fun with them. Take care.